Hey, what's up? Good morning. It's Black Lotus coming back with another video. For my returning viewers, thank you for sticking around. Thank you for your love and support and for your comments and shares and, for giving me your honest feedback. I really appreciate that. And for those of you that are just now stumbling upon my channel, hit that subscribe button and the notification button next to it so you can be notified every time I upload a new video. For those of you that were here yesterday will know that I did a reading for Nicki Minaj and her current boyfriend, Kenneth Petty, and I was having some technical difficulties with the volume and stuff like that. I appreciate you guys, pointing that out to me and, just not being nasty and rude about it. I appreciate that. I wasn't able to get it resolved completely, but I had to upload the video in 2 sections, so I did the best I could. Hopefully, I won't have that problem again today. So I actually got a lot of requests for another reading on Nicki Minaj and someone that she used to deal with by the name of Lewis Hamilton. I didn't even know who he was until yesterday, so thank you guys for recommending him to me. And I'm going to do that reading, but before I jump into that, I want to explain something to you. I know a lot of you guys don't know me. I'm new to YouTube. I have a following on Facebook, and, a lot of those people have known me for years, and they know how I work and how I do my readings and such. So I would like to explain something to you. And it doesn't just apply to me and my readings. This goes for any reading that you might see. Basically, I teach the law of attraction. I'm also a motivational speaker and a life coach and things like that. And I teach people how the law of attraction works. And basically, the energy that you hold, the frequency, it all manifests into your future. So you have the power to change, what comes into fruition in the future based on the energy that you hold. So, for example, let's just say you're having a bad day at work and you come to me for a reading. If your energy is just, angry and frustrated and you're thinking about leaving your job, chances are that's going to come up in the reading, and it's probably going to say, that you're going to leave your job, whatever. But, in a few days, things might settle down and your energy might shift and you'll have a different outcome projected for the future. So that definitely applies to these celebrity readings that I'm going to do. I just got that message this morning that I needed to relay that to you because I feel as though her energy is going to shift at some point, so the outcome might be a little different. And I'm not just saying that because, what I say might be wrong. I'll be the first to admit that I'm not perfect. I'm not always 100% accurate. Things can change, or I could just be wrong, period. I do have a pretty high accuracy, but I also do realize that, it's not me that has some gift. Everyone has abilities, and I am not special in any way. I'm just a vessel of communication between the spirit realm and the earth plane. So anyways, now that I've got that out of the way, I'm going to try to breeze through this reading. I don't want to ramble on too much. So this is what came up for Nicki Minaj and Lewis Hamilton. The Seven of Pentacles basically represents financial gain as a result of hard work. I feel as though they're both very driven and ambitious people. And, as friends or lovers, they would definitely motivate one another, push each other to, move forward and stuff like that. So I feel like they're very compatible in that way. The Page of Wands represents good news regarding work. As I said, they definitely push and motivate each other. I feel like a lot of good energy is between them that will manifest itself into both of their careers. The Temperance card, this actually came up in her reading yesterday, and this just has to do with two people that are very, very different. We've got the fire and the water. Nicki Minaj represents the fire. She is a fire sign, a Sagittarius. I'm not sure what Lewis's um, astrological sign is, but this is basically just to say that they are total opposites, but they do find a way to come together and merge in a very harmonious way. The Five of Wands represents petty arguments and disputes. And I'm just going to leave this here for a second and go through these next few cards, and it'll all make sense in the end. This is a Three of Swords, and it basically, it could have two different meanings. On one hand, it could symbolize two people whose emotions kind of run high, and it causes them to have like very heated arguments that would lead them to separate. Whereas on the other hand, it could also mean that during their separation, they're just kind of miserable without one another. But let me continue. I'll wrap it all up at the end. Now we have the Queen of Swords, and this basically represents Nicki Minaj and a lot of the things that she's been through in her life. She is someone, as I have said before, that has been through a great deal of pain and disappointment and heartache, and as a result of all the suffering that she's been through, she has gained a great deal of inner strength. She is a very independent woman. Any man that she allows into her life is somebody that she wants and not someone that she needs. However, she does have a somewhat codependent personality. I feel as though, and I said this yesterday, I don't know what her relationship is like with her father or if she has one at all, but I feel like that's had a great deal of influence on her relationships. I feel like she kind of goes for guys that are kind of rough around the edges, kind of tough and strong, and I don't want to say scary, but intimidating. Maybe that's the correct word. Someone that makes her feel protected and, secure. But I feel like that's playing out a lot in her relationships. And, she's very outspoken, and I feel like she doesn't want a man who is weak, basically. So this will all make sense in a minute, so just bear with me. This is the World card, and this just represents her working really hard and achieving success and happiness. And, this success and happiness is not only manifesting in her career, but also in her love life. She gives a great deal of energy and effort, and, she bends over backwards for those that she loves. So I feel like, if she was in a relationship with him, it would definitely take her out of her element a little bit. But I feel like they can work towards a very beautiful relationship. And the Ace of Wands, this represents two different things. It could have to do with her becoming pregnant, or it could also have to do with her starting a business venture. But since we're focusing on a romance reading, I'm inclined to say that this would have to do with pregnancy. So if she was to get with him, he would ultimately be the father of her child. And last but not least of this particular deck is the Strength card. And as I said, she's been through a great deal of shit in her life, and it's made her a stronger person. And, she's kind of like, she has her heart on her sleeve, but she tries not to show it. She has this kind of tough exterior, but on the inside, she's really a softie. She's very loving and very compassionate and everything like that. Now, let me get to what I was trying to say with all of these cards. Basically, what I was receiving as I was sitting in meditation is that, for one, right now would not be the best time to kind of tap into her energy and see what is coming in the future for her and Lewis Hamilton, because her energy is off. As I said in the Ken Petty reading yesterday, her energy is off. Her mind is kind of clouded. She's kind of blinded by love, she's not seeing or thinking clearly at the moment. So I feel as though right now it feels as though there is no future for her and Lewis Hamilton. However, as I said, at any given time when your energy shifts, your frequency, changes, you will manifest a different result. So there is potential for them. So this reading kind of speaks of what would happen if they would get together. But something that I received while I was meditating is that I feel like I don't know if they were even ever together. I don't really think that they were ever serious, if they were even in a relationship. And that's mainly because he comes off to me by his energy as someone who is a little bit too soft for her. Like, he's a beautiful person. He has great energy. And I feel like they have potential to be great partners. But I feel like she kind of overlooked him as a potential suitor because he's not tough enough or rough enough around the edges for her. So I'm kind of getting the feeling that he's like the one that got away. And that just kind of goes back to whatever she went through in her childhood and abandonment issues and abuse that's kind of made her gravitate towards a certain personality of men. So let me move on to this next section. So, of course, she's a very successful woman. She has the ability to build her own empire with or without a man. This graduating card just has to do with her, evolving as a person and, as a potential partner for someone. I feel like she's changing in the way that, she offers something totally different to the person that she's going to ultimately be with. She's still the same person, but she's learned from her lessons and she's kind of becoming more mature and definitely evolving. This is the manifestation card. So she definitely has the power to shift her energy in any way that she sees fit. And I do feel as though she is very in tune with her intuition. And I feel as though ultimately once she gets her head out of the clouds, she will make better decisions with her relationships and she will, manifest a much healthier, more positive relationship. This is the marriage card. So, as I said, I do feel as though he would be the father of her child and definitely her husband if she allows him into her heart. This is the leap of faith card. And as I said a second ago, I really don't feel as though he's her type necessarily. But, so with that being said, if she was to try something with him, it would be like totally out of her element, to kind of open up to someone like him because she's definitely not a submissive woman. She's very powerful and dominant, but she doesn't want a submissive man as her counterpart. She needs somebody who's even stronger and more powerful. And he just doesn't come off as that type of person to me. No need to fear. This doesn't mean that she's going to die. This just has to do with the death of one situation. And I feel like that has to do with the Kenneth Petty dude. So that situation would just kind of have to die off. And I feel like once that does, her heart will be open. I do believe that this situation with Kenneth Petty will end in her feeling embarrassed and heartbroken, because he's like building her up to break her down. But I don't feel as though this situation is going to make her close her heart to love in the future. But once the situation dies out, I feel as though she will, she's not giving up. I feel as though she's at that age where she's ready to settle down and, she's just going to kind of dust herself off and be like, okay, fine, it is what it is, moving on. So we have the Keep It 100 card. I feel like that is something that she has with Lewis Hamilton. They're able to be completely honest with one another. They would come off as very good friends. And I feel like that would be very beneficial for them if they were to explore a relationship because, they just have that openness with one another. They trust one another and respect each other's opinions and everything. So that is definitely a very valuable trait to have in a relationship. This is the uphill battle card, and I feel like this has more to do with her inner conflict than anything. It's her ego that is not allowing her to open herself up to him. And, a lot of people see ego as, relating to cockiness or arrogance, but ego is basically that little thing in your subconscious that tells you, like, I don't care how cute he is. I don't care how successful he is. He's not the one for you. It's like that little voice in your head that might plant a seed of doubt. And, eventually her ego is kind of dying off and breaking down. But I don't know. I feel as though she sees him as someone who's not compatible with her. So it's going to take a great deal of effort on his part to show her that, even though he's nothing like the other guys that she's been with, it's worth giving a try. This is the cheater card, and I feel as though what went wrong, I honestly don't know. I didn't even know who he was before yesterday, but I kind of feel like the reason that they never really got into a relationship, I just kind of feel like they didn't. I could be wrong, but I feel like the reason that they didn't is because she kind of felt that he was somebody that could be run over. He's a little bit too passive, and she was not in the mindset to commit to him at that moment. Excuse me. This is the magic card, and as I said, she's very in tune with her spirituality. She's able to speak with intention and manifest her desires into the universe. This is the Cardi B card, and wow, like of all the people that could have come up, like, why her? But now this has to do with Nicki Minaj as a person. She's just she's very wild and fun and energetic, life of the party, just full of fun and excitement. And I feel like that's where she and Lewis Hamilton ultimately clashed, or could possibly clash, because I feel like he's more laid back and reserved. And this is the Tekashi 6ix9ine card, and this just represents that side of Nicki that is just like wild and out there and doesn't bite her tongue and can be kind of reckless at the mouth at times. And I feel like she is very intimidating to him in ways. Like, on one hand, they make great friends, but I feel like in a relationship, she's just like a little bit too much for him. However, they would definitely be soulmates. I feel like she just needs to expand her horizons and open her mind and her heart to accepting someone like him who's just like different than, the other guys that she's been with. On to the next and the last deck. So I feel like very soon they will cross paths and kind of re-explore or kind of talk about the possibility of them being together. But as I don't feel as though that's going to happen immediately. I feel like it's going to be some months down the line, like perhaps, I don't know, maybe during the spring. Release your ex. Yeah, this card and this card basically have the same meaning. The death of one situation. So she really needs to let go of Kenneth Petty in order to be able to, be in another relationship with someone, obviously. And as I said, even though she's absolutely gorgeous, she's talented, she's independent, she does have a lot of insecurities. And a lot of healing needs to take place. You know, she needs to do some self love and some healing and things like that. So I feel like at the end of the Kenneth Petty relationship, she's definitely, you know, I definitely would not encourage her to jump right into another relationship after that. She needs to take some time for herself. She needs to forgive. She needs to heal before she gets into another relationship, because that energy doesn't leave if it's not dealt with. It will carry over and manifest into the next relationship and ultimately sabotage it. And she deserves love. She absolutely does. You know, she does. As I said, she wears her heart on her sleeve. She definitely does deserve love. She has a great deal of love to give. I just feel like she's been the right woman for the wrong man too many times. Forgiving and learning kind of goes back to what was said a few minutes ago. She is going through a learning experience. She's learning a lot about herself, and I feel like with this Kenneth Petty dude that she's with right now, it's going to become more apparent to her that she didn't make the best judgment call, and she needs to forgive him for what he's about to do and also forgive herself. Yeah, she definitely needs to pay attention to the red flags that are popping up. She's just so caught up with him right now, and it's sad because it's like the whole world can see that he's not the person that she needs to be with, but she's just not seeing it. True love definitely will be coming to her in 2019. And as I said, I do feel as though not Kenneth, but Lewis Hamilton would be that perfect guy for her, I believe. She does need to keep an open mind. Um, he is something totally different for her. So, you know, I hope that she is willing to take a chance with him. Playfulness, I feel as though that is something that she and Lewis Hamilton have. You know, they're able to be comfortable around one another and, you know, talk as friends, have a good time, all that other good stuff. They have heart to heart conversations. They're very supportive. And I just overall, I feel like, you know, very good energy between the two of them. This is something that's definitely going to come into play once this current relationship is over. She needs to not give up on love just because of what's happened. I hope that she keeps in the forefront of her mind that every guy is not the same and the next guy is not going to be like the last. And, you know, love is out there for her. New love, 2019, definitely. I feel like, I don't know. I don't want to give a timeline because I'm not that great at timelines, but definitely 2019. And last but not least, divine guidance. This goes back to her intuition. You know, she has a very close connection with her angels, her ancestors, and they're giving her signs. In the last reading I talked about, I feel like she is going through a period of time where she's having very vivid dreams. And I hope that she's keeping like a dream journal or something to that effect, because she's receiving messages not only through her subconscious but from her angels. And, you know, they're trying to guide her in the right direction. Trust. She definitely has trust issues, and that kind of goes back to her insecurities and also, you know, the bad experiences that she's been through. Last but not least, the soulmate card comes up again for her and Lewis Hamilton. So, all in all, you know, the summary of this reading, I feel as though some, a chain of events needs to happen. I would like to do another reading for her and Lewis Hamilton a couple months into the future once Kenneth Petty's true colors have been revealed to her, so that I can give a better idea of what's going to happen with them As of right now, I don't feel as though her heart is open to him. I don't feel as though she had ever really considered him as someone that she should be with. And I really hope that she will be open to trying, to be with him, because I do really feel like he is her soulmate. They would be excellent together. He could be an amazing husband for her, father to her child or children. I feel as though they would have a beautiful fairy tale like romance. So I hope that she will give him a try, but right now I just feel as though he's being overlooked by her. So I am done with this reading. If you have any other requests, feel free to leave them in the comments. If you enjoyed this reading, please leave a thumbs up. And I hope you all have an awesome day. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.